And then overtime hit, and replay played a role. I hit this at the top.
Replay played a major role.
I'm a huge advocate of replay in the NFL, and the rules that were made in the NFL recently for pass interference now being reviewable, even if it's not called. I'm an advocate of that. What I'm not an advocate of is using replay in instances in just certain parts of the game, but you're not allowed to look at it in other parts of the game. And that was a crucial moment last night where what would have been off of Virginia and Texas Tech ball with, say, 8 minutes to go in the second half, or even 3 minutes to go in the second half, becomes Virginia's ball. And that was kind of a turning point, PJ. What are your thoughts?
It was a major turning point. And, again, it was a replay that took so long. I mean, they looked at it from so many different angles. And at the end, did they get it right? Yeah, I think they got it right. It looked like it literally hit his fingertip. It was amazing, but it's hard. The thing that bothered me from a coaching standpoint, not especially in this tournament, but just in general with replay, it's taken the element of saving your timeouts. Like one team maybe saves the timeouts, the other team can't. And it's not a question of like if you're a coach you weren't smart enough. Sometimes you just got to use timeouts in the course of the game to stop runs and to do things like that. Well, now with these replays in the last 2 minutes, which, there's a lot more of them, it's almost like you're not rewarded for the fact that you didn't have to use your timeouts. And you get these free timeouts, like where the guys go over and huddle with the coach. And if anything, there's more timeouts in the game now because of replays. And that's always bothered me a little bit. You want to get the calls right, but you've kind of taken the element of having timeouts or not having timeouts left at the end of the game out the window.
No, I know. And I'm just wondering, from a coach's perspective, would you be up for, because to me, the issue is also just inequality, that would have been a certain call at a certain part of the game outside of 2 minutes. It shouldn't be that call just because it's inside 2 minutes. So what about the idea of giving coaches the ability to challenge during a game, and if you're wrong, it's a technical free throw for the other team?
I like that. I just think that you need to balance it right now. I do want to get calls right, and we've got technology that allows us to do that. But there's got to be a limit, and I think that what football does that, don't they? I mean, the way we're okay. If you think it was a challenge like that
right.
one, there wouldn't have been challenged. It's a question then of believing your kids, because so many times players go, "Hey, it was off me" or something like that. You have to drill your kids in those situations. So look. Don't say something unless you know you're right. But I would like that idea where the coach has to make a decision. And if it's the right decision, good. You're not penalized for it. But if you are, it just stops you from having, infinite replays, particularly at the end of the game, and plays that are just as important at other times, go unchallenged.
Westwood One's PJ Carlesimo here on the Rich Eisen Show. And then there were the controversial, again, calls like the one at the end of Auburn and Virginia, and then the one at the end of Purdue and Tennessee, where a lot of people are wondering, how do the referees not swallow their whistles? And I ask this with ultimate respect, PJ Carlesimo. Did you at any point in time just look at these people complaining about last-second calls by whistles that should be swallowed and say, cry me a river? Did you at any point think that in the back of your head?
Well, I like the way Bruce handled it, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, the other thing that people sometimes forget a little bit, the referees that are working in the tournament are the best ones. They were picked because of, what they've done, their body of work over their careers and what they've done during the year. And during the tournament, the best ones advance. So you can't complain about officiating in the NCAA tournament. It's like complaining about the refs in the NBA playoffs. Only the best refs are there. And they're trying the best they can. And, I hate, it's fun. Westwood always, how he apologizes to me, how he Deneroff, our major domo at the beginning every time, because he goes, I got to ask you. So we got to ask you, look what happened in the Auburn game. Look what happened in this game. We got to ask you about Ramil Robinson and Seton Hall. And, that's always going to be. But you can't change it. So you got to move on. And as long as officials are there, those judgments, those calls, they got to make it. You're going to get some that people are not going to like.
So you think Rick Barnes and Bruce Pearl are going to be asked about this 30 years from now, too?
Not as much as we are, because ours was in the championship game. But in those two areas, absolutely. Ours is a little more national because it was the championship game. In their league and in the circles where they are, yeah, they're going to be asked a ton. There's no question about that. But hopefully it doesn't linger as long as the Seton Hall, Michigan one.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.